Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutane Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavate Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'd like to offer my millions of obeisances unto the lotus feet of my divine spiritual master, Nityalila Pravishno Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stota Rishi Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Śrīla Narayana Goswami Maharaj, and also say millions of obeisances unto the lotus feet of Nityalila Pravishno Vishnupada Stota Rishi Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada, and all the Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. And I pray to their lotus feet that whatever we discuss today, may it be in accordance with their Vani and their bhavs, and may we understand those and imbibe those within our heart. Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna. नीचे क्यों बैठ रहे हो? ऊपर बैठो, ऊपर बैठो. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for coming to today's class. And thank you very much for your patience. Also, last week we were traveling. Some of you might have seen what I posted there. So I just wanted to express my appreciation to that Sangha in Hawaii. We had such a lovely time there, meeting many devotees whom we had heard about for many, many years, but we never met in person. So it was really a wonderful exchange. For those of you who are listening to Upadeshamritam series, there's a verse, Dadati Pratigranati Guhyam Akhyati Prichati Bhunte Bhojayate Chaiva Shadvidam Priti Lakshanam. That is, Śrīla Rupa Goswami is instructing us the 6 ways of exchanging love between devotees. And the first is Dadati, giving something. So when we meet devotees, we should offer something. It does not necessarily mean that we offer some financial or some gift. It can also just mean an offering from our heart. And then pratigranati, accepting something, is also a characteristic. Because when something is offered with love and affection, then when the recipient takes that with love and affection, then the giver also becomes very happy. So giving and receiving is part of the exchange of love. Then guhyam akhyati prichati, that is revealing one's own internal mind or confidential topics. So as we are, or I should say I am practicing devotee, therefore I'm full of offenses and shortcomings. So when we reveal those to those whom we are like-minded and one in heart with, then we feel some relief, first of all, just like a husband or wife, if after a tough day they come home, then they reveal their heart or their difficulties throughout the day with one another, then it feels some relief within the heart. But also some advice comes on how to manage that difficulty. So for devotees, one devotee in particular, whom is definitely very senior to me, he said, "What is your biggest impediment on bhakti?" When we were discussing, what is your biggest obstacle in bhakti, in progress? Such a wonderful question. These are the questions and exchanges devotees generally have. So with that, those 6 exchanges took place during our visit, and we were very, very happy to finally meet many devotees there. So I encourage you all, if you're ever in Hawaii, particularly Big Island, you can go. It's a bit of a drive from the main Kona airport, but there's a wonderful Sangha there, really a community, I would say, of many, many families living within 1 to 2 mile radius of each other, and all supporting, and they're living this very simple lifestyle. Most of them have like 1 or 2 acres, they're growing some fruits, they're maintaining their family, and they're also dedicating their lives to the Sangha and to serve the moods and mission of our Guru Varga. So it's really a wonderful place, and so many are very, very learned there. So I learned a lot while visiting them. In any case, we are going to continue our series that is studying the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a slow and methodical series that we're going to do. Perhaps it may take whole lifetime, I don't know. It may take many years or it may take months. We'll see how it goes. But our plan is to go slow and methodically. And we don't mind if it takes a long time. Yeah, because when we take a long time, then we understand it thoroughly. So because we have all studied now Bhagavad Gita, we have listened to many stories of Srimad Bhagavatam, but we do so in like 1 day, 1 chapter, 1 day, 1 story. This time, this story, which is our most beloved, dear story, will take many, many days. So I hope that you all don't mind and you relish each and every one of them. All right, so we have been studying from the 1st chapter onwards. We covered the 2nd chapter mostly last week. And I'll ask if any devotees would like to come and speak what they might remember, since it's been 2 weeks. Would anybody like to volunteer? Otherwise, I will call on you. So one way or the other, you'll have to speak. Why not do it in such a way that you choose rather than I choose? Would you like to speak something, Sridhar Prabhu? You weren't here last week, but were you listening to any of them? Okay. Emma Didi, come. I said if you don't volunteer, I'll call on you. So you can come to the front without any delay. So you can speak what you remember from last time.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
We talked about Shri advent of Śrī Kṛṣṇa, but before that, we talked about sufferings.
You also hold this. It should come clearly, but hold it nicely. Okay.
At first, Sachin Prabhu asks if we remember anything about what we talked about last time. So we all were discussing about the suffering, that why do we suffer? Is it our karmas or Śrī Kṛṣṇa's kripa, mercy upon us? So the conclusion was, it's not our karmas, it's Krishna's kripa, mercy, blessing upon us.
Bas. What else? Why is that the case?
Because even when you start Even when you start Lavamatra Bhakti, even little bit, even when you are on the path of the Bhakti, just you started the Bhakti, at the same time, same moment, our accumulated, our sanchit karmas gets nullified, eradicated, right? And our Kriyaman, current time, present moment gets better,
Yes.
gets better
Why?
because we are on the path of Bhakti.
So therefore you don't commit those types of sinful activities.
Sinful activities, yes. So we learned that.
But what about prarabdha?
Prarabdha depends upon our Kriyaman. Prarabdha karma also gets eradicated
When does it get eradicated?
when we are on the path of Bhakti, when we are surrendered, when we are doing seva.
Okay. When?
When?
Anybody can answer? Prarabdha, sanchit,
Sanchit karma,
karma is what?
our accumulated karmas from many, many births and lives,
Okay. Kriyaman
is our present karmas, like what we do at this moment, at present.
okay, and prarabdha is?
Prarabdha is what we are going to create, and from many, many lifetimes, births that we have accumulated.
What
Vaishnava offenses.
What is prarabdha? We have heaps of karma we've done from previous lifetime, yes?
Yes.
One heap is taken and thrown to become Hemadidi today. Yes?
Yes.
You are reaping the benefits or results of that karma today.
Yeah.
So many heaps are still there, and so many heaps are yet to be created, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when does prarabdha, the heap that you got, get destroyed?
Surrender.
Ritu Didi, come. Explain these three karmas very clearly to everybody, such that Sridhar Prabhu, who has not come, he should understand also.
So, what is prarabdha?
She will teach us.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Did you take the microphone or you gave it?
I have it here.
Wonderful. Now it's your microphone. Please tell us. If you need to use the pen.
No,
do
that's
it.
okay. That's okay.
No, very good. I'll be very happy if you do. I'll give you a blank slide. Please teach us. All should learn.
So, Hare Krishna, everyone. So, Sachin Bhaiya taught us that this is a warehouse.
Sorry. Flip it. Flip the pen and use that. It's
Okay.
thicker.
So, this is Sanchit Karma. So, we have these karmas collected in a warehouse from many lives. We do not even know how many lives. From there, suppose this part of karma is given in our current life. This is our current. This is coming here. So basically we are going through now these result of these karmas. We did these karmas and its result we have to face over here in this current life. So this is prarabdha. And again we have some kriyaman karma. Kriyaman means the current we are doing it right now. What we are doing it now. So now we are facing the consequences of our this part of karma in this life here. And then kriyaman is like we are taking decisions and on some things which are going on every day. Is it correct? What else should I explain now?
Now, how does the process of bhakti eliminate karma? Because bhakti is transcendental. Karma is in this world.
Yes.
Bhakti is above this world.
Yes.
How does bhakti उसका नष्ट कैसे करता है? How does it destroy these karmas?
Okay. So when the devotee is entered on the path of bhakti, Bhakti Devi is so transcendental that she destroys all our karmas in the order. First of all, this whole warehouse is burnt. Now we do not have a warehouse. So even if I take birth again in the next life, I will not have lot of prarabdha to come in my that life, current, in that particular life. And after that, I remember then kriyaman karma are made better, I think, kriyaman karma.
Why?
Because when you are doing bhakti and it's a day-to-day decisions we are making. So when you become a devotee, you are a bhakta now. You take the correct decisions because now you have understood, you have the knowledge, gyan of that who is Bhagwan, why are we doing these things, and automatically your kriyaman karma, the daily activities, like for example, if I say I come to temple, I'm doing some seva, and there I heard something, someone did something which I did not like it, but now because I am in that process, so I have this knowledge and understanding that whatever is happening, I have to accept it. Whatever is coming, I have to accept that the way it is. Basically, we have to accept situations and people the way they are. We do not have to basically confront them. Just let it be whatever is happening to great extent, like unless and until, I mean, it's a very big thing, then it's a different scenario. But these simple things, so this is how we destroy our kriyaman karmas. Is it correct?
Partially. You brought up the case of other people, but that's not the example which I
Okay. Maybe in my own life, my decisions.
So give me an example of a general person who perhaps prior to this, for millions of lifetimes, he consumed meat,
Okay.
right? So he's committing pap, correct?
Yes, correct.
Sinful activity. So due to that pap or sinful activity, will he face the result?
Means,
Yes.
of
And
course.
they are building up in this.
Yeah.
In one lifetime, how many animals does one person eat? Thousands and
Thousands
thousands
of, yeah.
animals. Can he die 1,000 times in this life? No, but he has to pay it, right? So he's got a warehouse full of them. He killed 1,000 animals, 1,000 debts are due to him. Correct? According to law of karma, which is equal and fair, he has to pay 1,000 debts.
Correct.
Then he becomes devotee, like Valmiki. He meets a guru like Narad Muni, right? You gave the example one time. He meets a guru like Valmiki, Narad Muni, and he begins chanting Mara 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 Ram Ram Ram. The first thing that's destroyed is
The Sanchit warehouse.
karma. Unfair. How can you kill those without any retribution? But because now Valmiki has come into association with Guru, he has learned that his family will not, redeem him. You know, those of you who know the story. Then he fixes himself. So because he fixed himself, now his current activities are no longer sinful. This is kriyama. This is how we should explain, not based on people or.
Okay.
This is a very different topic. All right, kriyama. But we see that even till today, still, we got rid of this one, and we're now fixing this one. But still, something is happening to us. Hema Didi, have you suffered in this life, even though you took on the path of bhakti? Yes. Ritu Didi, have you suffered?
Yes. It's still suffering.
You just told me all the suffering is gone. Now, tell me about prarabdha.
Yeah. So, after becoming a devotee or a pure bhakta, we are still suffering. But then, those sufferings, we have to go a level up and understand that these sufferings are given by the Lord Himself, because Lord wants us to become more and more close to Him and more intelligent. Is it that way?
Okay. How do you become close to Him by suffering? That's kind of sucky. by suffering I get closer to you? Why do you have to do
Because
that?
when you are
Can't you think of a better way?
because you are a devotee, then you think that it is his kripa only. He is giving me these suffering. Because of that suffering, you remember him more. You go close to him more.
Okay.
And you have this understanding now, whatever is happening for my own benefit. Because as a parent, the way you gave example last time, that the parent, yeah, with that Didi, that with the parent, sorry, Shivani Didi, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. So with Shivani Didi, there was an example of a child. Like a parent would never encourage a child, okay, if you have extra work, you sleep and do not do anything. In fact, a strict parent would always say that you wake up early, do little more hard work, stop watching mobile or whatever etc other activities. So this is how even the Lord is watching his devotee, and he's thinking that he is foolish. He does not know what is what is good for him, better for him. But I am his parent, so I know what is good for him. So let me do what is better for him because he has surrendered to me.
And what is the gifts of suffering that we get? What is the result that we get when we suffer? The gift that is given to us that is not received when we get happiness. Why is
We,
suffering
we become mature.
we become
Mature.
And as we gave the example of Krishna looking for a girlfriend or a wife,
Yeah.
does he want a mature wife or does he want an immature wife?
No, as per him, he wanted a mature wife.
So therefore, when you are mature, when you are suffering, you get the gift of
Maturity.
maturity. When you are happy and engaging and really joyous, do you get the gift of maturity?
No.
No. So in one sense, suffering is the kripa.
Kripa is a blessing.
That is how the devotee understands.
Hmm.
So then finally, when he attains the state of bhava or prema, then this prarabdha gets fully destroyed. Hence why we see suffering even amongst the devotees. In this life.
Right.
Very good. She did a wonderful job. Oh, thank you very much. Now, Shivani Didi, you gave us the example of telling your daughter, Kushi, to wake up at 3 a.m. I think she said 3 a.m. last time. All right, please come and tell me.
Where to fix this?
Oh, Didi, I got it. Right there. Please tell me the example and how this makes sense in this regard. Vicious.
Huh?
So vicious.
So that would entail everything from fixing the schedule to avoiding sleeping late or TikTok time, and the physical problems we get into by getting late, avoid stress, avoid malaria, and all the practical benefits of it. And but then it's not easy to do. It's not the easiest thing. Even when I believe in it, I know all the benefits. I also struggle with making a party. So even though I'm not expecting her to do it right away, but for myself and her, I know that we know the right thing. I'm communicating the right thing. Also, she has a freedom to either follow or not.
So how is this related to bhakti?
Bhakti is also saying the advantages are numerous,
But it requires patience and discipline, consistency.
How do we get that? How does Kushi realize that waking up early will help her?
By doing it,
By doing it, okay. But also she may learn another way.
by watching someone else do it.
Okay, and she may learn another way also? Pritaise or punishment. By getting a bad grade. Then she'll say, oh, next time I won't make the same mistake again. Some of us learn through positive reinforcement. Some of us learn through negative reinforcement. Bhagavan also understands who needs what. Most of us need negative reinforcement. Most of us, not all. Those devotees who surrender to the Lord very quickly, they don't need it. But there are some that need to go through some suffering. And hence, suffering is welcome. Hence, Kunti Devi then prays, please give me suffering so that I may become close to you, so that I may see you in that suffering. All right, wonderful. Anything else? Very good, thank you, Didi. Then we also discussed a few pastimes related to Śrī Kṛṣṇa's appearance. Radha, would you like to speak on that? And then we'll start. Hare Krishna.
Last week, after we finished this topic of suffering is welcomed for the devotees, we had again resumed on the topic of the advent of Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the appearance of Śrī Kṛṣṇa. And what we first started off with is Narayana coming to Kams and encouraging him to be more demoniac, and telling him that all the demigods are already here in this world, in your book, waiting to see you suffer. I think.
See you die.
I see you die, and you don't think that these 6, 7 sons that Devaki will give birth to will also be killers. So he was trying to encourage him to be more demoniac. And then I think we talked about what these 6 sons, before the 7th son being Balarama, the 8th son being Krishna, what they represented. And we started out with the pastime, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was about Brahma. Brahma had a son named Marichi, and Brahma, he was committing some type of sinful act or some type of act which was looked down upon for his caliber. And so Marichi told him, this doesn't suit your personality, and you should stop committing whatever act he was doing. And so Brahmaji had stopped, but Marichi also had 6 sons, which were Brahma's grandsons, and they had laughed at Brahmaji, being the grandfather and being of such caliber to make some acts. So then Brahma, being in that state, had cursed those 6 sons, saying that they will die in the womb, if I remember correctly. And then we had connected.
Not in the womb, immediately upon taking birth.
Oh, immediately upon taking birth. Okay. And then we had connected these 6 sons to being the first 6 sons of Devaki. And I believe what those 6 sons represented, Kama, Krodha, I know those 4, and then the English ones are lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, and then illusion or madness. So Devaki, she was really fearful of Kams, and so she had these 6 qualities, in her, but because she was also...
No.
Or she was trying to... Well, okay, I don't know exactly how to connect it, but Krishna wanted to eliminate these 6 qualities that would have been an hindrance to her and her bhakti.
No.
How do I connect that?
The Acharyas compared the 6 sons being killed to those 6 defects, hindrances. Kam, Krodh, Mad, Moh, Lobh, Matsarya. lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion, or madness. These 6 are destroyed when one goes on the path of pure bhakti. When those 6 are destroyed, then who appears? Guru. When Guru appears, he purifies the womb like a Balaram, or purifies our heart, and then makes it suitable for?
Śrī Kṛṣṇa to appear.
Yes. Devaki does not have such qualities. We will discuss that today. Devaki is an eternal associate, pure devotee of the Lord. She will never have those qualities.
Sorry, this means.
This is just a comparison, an analogy given by the acharyas.
So those first 6 sentences, basically, when it comes to speaking them, he was, killing them in a symbolic way that was also killing those hindrances.
Yes,
So,
correct.
and then the 7th son being Balaram, who is the Supreme Personality, his servitor. He is the Guru himself, and he is the one that we have to surrender upon for to be cleansed, so that way bhakti can be nurtured within us with the Shravan and Kirtan.
Just as Shivani Didi just said, you can learn by also seeing another person. So when you see the Guru, then you understand.
That's mainly what I mean.
Okay, anything else? Narendra Prabhu, please come. Thank you very much. Good.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I think she covered it all. I think the last piece was when Krishna was being born, Devaki Mata was very fearful. So all the demigods came and they were singing poems and prayers. And they were referring her to as her Nani, I guess.
Dadi.
As a Dadi, and they were singing her to get the fear out of her mind. They were saying, "You'll be birth, you'll be coming at midnight." So I think that was the only thing which I felt you missed. Everything else was covered.
Wonderful. Great. So the prayers by the demigods. So all of the demigods appear in the jail cell of Mother Devaki and Vasudeva. And in that way, they reassured Devaki that all is auspicious, all will be just fine. And we too, Dadi, are waiting for the arrival of your son, because when your son arrives, what does that mean for us? Our troubles will go away, right? So there is one point here that I would like to make, because we have discussed many stories, such as the story of Vritrasur, where Indra, Maharaj Indra, or Dev Indra, commits an offense to his guru Brihaspati. Then he goes and hides. Then he kills Tosta, and Vritrasur comes. We all heard this story. And there Indra is, and we also did that. We portray him as a very perhaps selfish person, or someone who is only interested in making sure his kingdom is safe. So in the mind, what happens when we hear those stories? We immediately develop some, what is called dvesha, or some, anybody know the English word for dvesh? Enviousness, or maybe some negative feelings come up when we hear the name of Indra. Then we hear other pastimes where Indra showered so much rain because he became angry at the Vrajavāsīs for not worshipping him. Now today, or last time, we heard that the Devtas came, offered prayers, and said, please, be fine, and we are very happy your son will arrive because he will protect us from Kansa. So we hear some selfishness sort of mentality. However, we should be very cautious not to offend the Devtas. We discussed this when we discussed the topic of Lord Shiva, that even though it may appear that they do some things like, why would you do that? Or there's some selfishness. Remember that they are devatas. Therefore, they have performed many punyas, many pious activities to attain that position. So we are born in this material world. Therefore, from a worldly standpoint, we are lower than them. So let us not make the offense of offending the Devatas or passing judgment, because that is what the sons of Marichi did to Lord Brahma. Okay? So Śrīla Rupa Goswami says one of the limbs of bhakti, amongst the 64 limbs of bhakti, is to not offend the Devatas. Can you believe it? Not doing something is doing something also. Not offending the Devatas is a limb of bhakti. So let us not make that mistake. So today we will discuss another nuance or detail for how the Devatas interact with the pastimes of the Lord. So does anybody remember when Bhudevi, that is Mother Earth, she came in the form of a cow. And she came in the form of a cow to Lord Brahma. Do you remember this, Sonu Didi? Okay, in the beginning of the chapter, Bhudevi came in the form of a cow to Brahmadev. And she said, "Oh Lord Brahma, so many negative things are happening on this earth, and it's causing me great pain. Can you please give me a solution?" Do you remember this? Okay. Yes. So let's scroll back here. So you might remember this picture here, where Brahmaji, along with the other Devatas, are praying to the Lord to solve their dilemma and to solve the dilemma of Bhudevi. Then what happens is Shri Narayan or Shri Vishnu appears in the mind of Brahma and gives him instructions saying, "I'm already knowing what's happening. Don't worry. Soon my original, where I came from, will appear on this earth and relieve all stress." So the Devatas are very pleased. Then he also gives one instruction. He gives one instruction. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Did I skip the slide? Oh, I must not have copied and pasted. In any case, he gives one instruction to Brahmaji that tell all the Devatas to come and take birth in the Yadu family. That's when we discussed how to become a family member of the Lord. So there, the Devatas, they take on various personalities in the Yadu dynasty, that is Krishna's family, and they appear, as his cousin, as his third cousin, as his, servants, etc., as his niece and nephews. So many appear all at the same time. And they begin appearing in all the families, and they're watching the pastimes of Krishna and awaiting his arrival. So there's one hidden, beautiful detail that I'd like to share with you all today. I wish Kamlesh Prabhu was here because he's very knowledgeable about the Puranas. So I would have asked him to speak if he knew it. But later on in the Bhagavatam, we will hear the story of Drona and Dhara. Hema Didi, are you familiar with the story of Drona and Dhara? Narendra Prabhu? No? Okay. So I'm going to go with a blank slide here, and we'll just erase all this. So in the Bhagavatam, it describes Drona and Dhara. So Drona and Dhara are, Drona is a Vasu. Does anybody remember who else was a Vasu in their previous life? We discussed this. Gangaputra Bhishma was the king of the Vasus. There are 8 Vasus. Okay? Another one of the Vasus was Drona. So in the Bhagavatam is described that Drona and Dhara wished to have the Supreme Lord as their son. Okay? So they really desired to exchange love with the Lord in this mood. And it's described they went to Brahmaji and they performed tapasya, that is austerities, and very severe austerities they performed for thousands of years, meditating with the desire that the Lord appear as their son. When Brahmaji became satisfied with this tapasya, they asked him, "Oh Brahma, can you please give us the Lord as our son?" And Brahmaji became very satisfied and he said, "Tathastu, let it be so." So Drona and Dhara are described to perform great austerities or tapasya, and as a result, Brahmaji gives them the result that the Lord will appear as your son. Now, when this story is being told, it describes how Drona and Dhara came on this earth and became Nanda Baba and Mother Yashoda. Nanda Baba and Yashoda, Drona and Dhara became them. Now, when we hear, just like I said about Mother Devaki, I said that she is an eternal associate of the Lord. Narendra Prabhu, what does that mean to you? Devaki and Vasudeva. We are discussing them, right, at this moment? And I said they are eternal associates of the Lord. What does that mean in your mind? What does the word eternal mean? That means past, present, future, for all time, they are associates of the Lord. That's what we say? That's what Shastra says? Okay. So that means neither was there a time when they were not an associate of the Lord, and neither will there be a time that they are not an associate of the Lord. Just like Hanumanji is an eternal associate of Lord Ram. ठीक है? Okay. But there's this story in the Puranas and even in the Bhagavatam, which is one of the Puranas, Drona and Dhara do some tapasya and then become Nanda and Yashoda. Does everybody understand this? Now, Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya are also described to be eternal associates of the Lord. So what doubt comes in your mind as soon as you hear that?
One had to do extra effort to get to be the one father and mother.
Say that again, repeat it again.
Both are eternal. One had to do extra austerities to get to that level.
Okay, that's one doubt. Another doubt, Kailash Prabhu, what comes in the mind when you hear that?
Like why one person has his
No, forget about the comparison. Let's focus on this word eternal. Radha?
Are they not eternal in the Drona and Dhara form too?
Meaning?
Why is it in that, if they're considered eternal associates, why is it in those personalities did they not get that? Why did they have to do extra?
Not just why did they have to do extra, but if you told me in the past, present, and future they're eternal associates, but then you told me a story of them wanting to be the parents, then doing something, and then becoming parents. Wait. I thought they were parents here too. So what is all this? Does this make sense? Everybody understand the doubt that comes in the mind? Sonu Didi, you get it? No?
To me, I think if it's eternal, like when we had talked about the three levels, we had said that Lord Krishna has his eternal family. So in my mind, I think that all of them are part of the eternal family. It's just their aspiration to take that form as parents. So I don't
Okay, so let me try to explain it in a different way of what the doubt is. Sonu Didi wants to become the parent of Lord Krishna. Okay? She then performs some austerity and Brahma says, go ahead, it will happen. Then she becomes the parent of Krishna. Is there not a time when you were not the parent of Krishna in that story? Yes? So here this story is told of that same way. So there must have been a time where Drona and Dara were not the parents. This is very deep philosophy. Haripriya always warns me that don't talk about this stuff, but I don't know, it's my nature, so I have to. Do you get it? So on the one hand, we hear there's eternal family of Krishna. On the other hand, you're hearing, wait, it doesn't seem like there's an eternal family of Krishna. The goal of the 10th canto is to discover how we can become a family member of Krishna. Then we can exchange prema with him. If we don't know the details of how to become a family member, and the other family members, just like I'm an Agrawal, if I go to the Agrawal Samaj event and I don't even know a single family member in the Agrawal family, am I really a member of the family? It's just a title, last name given to me. So if we want to become a member of his family, we should probably know his family, right? So that's the point of all this. So Drona and Dhara did tapasya and became Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya. So the doubt comes in the mind that, wait, weren't they always Nanda and Yashoda? How would they need to do tapasya or some extra effort? Another doubt comes in the mind, this is a tough one, is that, can I do some austerity and become the father and mother of Krishna? That also will come in the mind, because it seems like that is the case here. So if I do enough tapasya, can I replace Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya? Or can I be Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya? But then you told me, no, they're already there. So what to do? Understand the two doubts? Let us try to understand this in full. Does everybody understand them clearly? Okay, all right. You all have seen this picture, is that right? This is the map of the world, 3 worlds. That is, we have studied this one more, but now we are delving into this area, that is understanding the nature of the spiritual world. On the top, you will see here, this somehow doesn't work very well, but on the top you will see here that Krishna is present along with Srimati Radharani. And this area is known as Golok Vrindavan. Now, I'll give you a zoomed in picture here in just a second. But Golok Vrindavan is the area where Krishna is spending time with his family. And it is the most love-filled area of the spiritual world. You will also see Ayodhya present here, where Sri Ram resides with his associates. You will, if you zoom in, you'll see Lord Nrsimhadev here, present with his associates. You will see, and this is, I know it's difficult to see when we don't have a really clear picture, Varahadev, Vamandev, Matsya avatar, so many avatars. Now, Prahlad Maharaj is described as the devotee of Lord Nrsimhadev. Is that right? You asked this question similar, so I'm addressing this in more detail. Prahlad Maharaj is described as a devotee of Lord Nrsimhadev. Hanuman is described as a devotee of Lord Ram. Now, Hanuman, if you ask him to worship Radha and Krishna, Narendra Prabhu, will he do it? Not with the same intensity. Why? Because he's attached to Lord Ram. So Hanuman would like to be here. Is that right? So when he does his bhajan, his worship, he wants to be with Lord Ramachandra. Now, is there any difference between Lord Ram and Lord Krishna? No difference. They're one and the same. But they display different moods and activities. Similarly, Prahlad is the devotee of Lord Nrsimhadev. So if you were to ask him, hey, let's go to Vrindavan, he'll say, I'd rather go to where Lord Nrsimhadev is. So each of the devotees, we have discussed this in the past, have a different tendency and desire to serve the Lord in their particular way. We gave the example in the very first Bhagavad Gita course. Some may like to make idli, and some may like to make pizza. Similarly, each devotee gets his destination accordingly, in accordance with his mood and desire. That is why it's very important to do your bhajan, to do your chanting, to do your seva in a way that you have a goal. And it should be very specific, not, I just want to love the Lord. Well, love is in the details. Therefore, we should become very detailed. So, when we see the different destinations of the devotees, they all have different ras or different speciality within them. This is a zoomed in picture of Golok Vrindavan. Now, in Golok Vrindavan, that is the place where Krishna's family resides. There are also different areas. We gave the example a few weeks ago of President Trump being in his Oval Office. Then we gave the example of President Trump being in his residence quarters. And I hope you all remember that example. Similarly, there are many different areas within Golok Vrindavan. If we zoom in here, it's a little difficult to see, but you'll see there's a border right there on the edge of Golok Vrindavan. Can everybody read that? Mathura, Dvārakā. Wonderful. So we have Dvārakā, we have Jagannath Puri, and we have Mathura. In Dvārakā, Krishna is, for those of you who know, Krishna is, how does he come? As a king, as the president. And in Dvārakā, everyone there, because everyone gets what they want, worship him as Aishwarya. That is a mood of opulence. He's the king. Yeah? Therefore, we cannot go and hug him. We have to worship him from far. And we should sing prayers to him because he is the king. Right? In Jagannath Puri, how does he come? What does Jagannath mean? Jaga is Jagga, the world, and Nath, Lord of the universe. There, they worship him as provider and controller. See, even in the kingdom, there may be some that are near and dear to the king, like his ministers, more so than just the general praja or general citizens of the kingdom. Though they may all love the king, still there are levels within that. In Jagannath Puri, they worship him as the Lord of the universe. He can create all the worlds, destroy all the worlds, etc. In Mathura, there is a mix of sweetness and opulence. That is Madhurya and Aishwarya. In Mathura, he appears as the Lord with 4 hands in the cell or jail cell of Vasudeva and Devaki. But then they also desire, please, Prabhu, can you be my little son? So there's a mix. They know that he just appeared to them as the 4-handed Lord, but then they request him, can you please come? It's a mix. Now, in Vrindavan, however, there is what? Sweetness and more sweetness. In Vrindavan, there is no such thing. However, still sometimes we see that the Lord displays some miraculous activities even in Vrindavan, right? For example, he lifts Govardhan Hill with just his left pinky. Can anybody do that? No. When he opens his mouth, Mother Yashoda thinks and sees the entire universe. So it's still there, his Bhagavatta, that is, the fact that he's Bhagavan, still exists there. But whenever he displays it, the mood immediately gets covered up with sweetness. Mother Yashoda thinks, a ghost has come to my son. When the Vrajavāsīs see him pick up the hill, they say, let us help you a little bit. After all, you're just a little boy with soft limbs, right? Your pinky must be hurting. Your hand must be hurting. I got it. I'll help you too. That's the mood of Vrindavan or Braj. You see these different moods, hence why there's outer layers and more inner layers. Make sense? Okay. Now, let's go back here. When we see all of these different, Golok Vrindavan is described to be like 1,000-petaled lotus. You can see here there's a lotus flower and many different petals. Because in each petal, you'll see, I mean, I know it's faded, but you'll see different pastimes of the Lord and where each devotee falls within that lotus. Okay? Remember, as you sow, so shall you reap. If you perform bhajan with the desire to be in this lotus petal, that's where you will go. If you perform bhajan to desire to serve in this lotus petal, that's where you will go. Similarly, many are desiring to become part of this family. Even the devtas are desiring to become part of this family. But very few make it. It is sudurlabha, very rare at the end of the day. So when we see the example of Drona and Dhara, we should understand this in two different ways. Because oftentimes, especially a while ago, I used to hear of stories that people told me that, for example, Radharani did so much tapasya and then she attained the favor of the Lord. No. Or Drona and Dhara did tapasya and then they became the parents of the Lord. No. There is a family in Vrindavan that is eternal, such as Nanda Baba, and we'll take that example today, Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya. But there is also an aspiring to become family, of which perhaps someone like Ritu Didi, Shivani Didi, etc., Sachinandan Das, we all want to be part of the family. But we're not there yet. So what to do? Now, one time Ritu Didi asked me a question of where does someone who has the mood of Vatsalya, parental, where do they end up? So someone can ask, let's say Ritu Didi wishes to become and have the mood of parental mood with Krishna. Okay? Let's say she wishes that. Is everybody following? I'm trying to go really slow. I hope it's making sense. She wishes to become the parent of Krishna, but somebody comes to her and says, Ritu Didi, I'm really sorry. Unfortunately, he already has parents. Better luck next time. And then she says, wait, what does any of us do? Aren't all the slots taken? right? Somebody can come up with this doubt also. And then, or somebody may say, if you do a lot of tapasya, then you can replace them. Well, then what happens to them? They get pushed off to the side because they did a little less tapasya than you. No. That's not how it works. When we understand the story of Drona and Dhara, then our acharyas describe this in a very beautiful way. That just as Vishnu told Brahma that tell all the devtas to take part in the family, appear in the family, and there they'll get their practice round, we describe this also, and then they will become part of the eternal family. Drona and Dhara are such persons. They are known as ansha, expansions, there's not really a good English word, expansions of the original Nanda and Yashoda. Okay? So when Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, they are eternally enjoying in Vrindavan, that is Golok Vrindavan, they're eternally enjoying with Krishna there. But Krishna also descends on this earth and many other universes when he wants to conduct his pastimes. So because he's descending, they also want to descend. Now, on the other side, there's Ritu Didi who wants to become the parent of Krishna, and she wants the opportunity to do so. Now, when she, in this case, Drona and Dhara, achieve their perfection or become blessed by the grace of a pure devotee like Brahma, then they get the opportunity to serve in that eternal family. So when this happens, then they, because these are anshas, they then merge with Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya to perform their service. This is the understanding of such statements like people make in their kathas. Radharani did so much tapasya. Drona and Dhara did so much tapasya. It is not that they are doing, these original Nanda and Yashoda are doing that such tapasya. It is that when these stories are given, the anshas of the original persons are doing that in order to display that this is what a sadhak needs to do in order to become a member of the family. That's one point. The second point is, okay, Ritu Didi, does she just merge into Nanda and Yashoda? No. What would she then get the result if she has this parental mode? What does she become? Ritu Didi?
To serve them, means to go on their footsteps, to learn from them how to serve Krishna as a parent.
Okay. So, when we are performing our sadhan, then we should have the desire with a particular mood. Śrīla Gurudeva. We have a desire to perform in a particular mood. But that mood doesn't result in replacement of the eternal family. Instead, it becomes where you are the servant under Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya. When you become the servant of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, then you learn the art of being a parent of Krishna. And Krishna too also treats you in a very similar way, right? So you can think perhaps back in old India, everyone used to live in a joint family. Do you remember that? Sorry? You were about to say that?
I'm thinking of that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she could become like Yashoda's co-sister or whatever, like in the same household.
Exactly. So in the olden days, that is the days when when Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, everyone lived in joint families. Mother, father, sons, all the sons lived together, daughters-in-law, etc. And if a child was born, let's say one brother's child was born, then he might call his parents Mama and Papa, but he might also call his Chacha and Chachi as Chote Papa or Chota Mummy, whatever, Choti Mummy. And then Bade Papa, Bade Mummy. Do you guys understand this? Similarly, when one becomes the servant of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, then one day you may experience the joy of Śrī Kṛṣṇa calling you Chote Papa or Choti Mummy. Make sense? So when one is serving under the guidance of the Vrajavāsīs, tad anuragi jananugami, that is serving with the mood that I wish to become part of the Vraja family of Radha and Krishna, then they should do so under the guidance of that eternal family member whom they appreciate and relish the most. This is the essence of that instruction. So the reason I'm bringing this up today is because one should not misinterpret the eternality or the permanence of their position in the spiritual world. Number two is because Drona and Dhara are mentioned in the following chapter when Nanda Baba and Yashoda are mentioned. So because of this, it's important to clarify. Sri Sanatana Goswami does this very extensively in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I can provide the reference later if needed. All right, so let's continue. That now Śrī Kṛṣṇa has appeared in the cell of Devaki and Vasudeva. It's described that all of the, shackles, thank you. The shackles of Vasudeva and Devaki automatically become loose. There is a bright light filled with opulence in the room, and it blinds all of the jail cell keepers, I guess is the right word. Jail cell keepers in the jail. And no one can see what is happening, but all are aware that something divine is taking presence. The only persons that can see are Vasudeva and Devaki. And there it is described that the Lord appears in his Chaturbhuj, four-handed form, with a beautiful crown, with a golden and precious ornaments. He's carrying the lotus flower, the Shankha Chakra, Padma, Gaj, conch shell, Sudarshan Chakra, disc, lotus flower, and mace. And it's described that he appears in a very beautiful, with a mild smile, like not full smile, but very mild smile. He is darkish blue in complexion, like a rain-filled cloud. He has the mark of the Kaustubh Muni, money, that is the jewel of Kaustubha on his chest, and the mark of Srivatsa, which is one white hair that's also on his chest. He is adorned with beautiful Vaijayanti mala that is full of fragrant flowers. And he's wearing a yellow dhoti with a single yellow pitambar on his chest, the upper cloth. And in this way, he appears in front of Devaki and Vasudeva. When Vasudeva sees Krishna for the first time, then he becomes immediately mesmerized. But then he realizes what is happening and then begins to offer eloquent prayers to the Lord, because he's aware that the Supreme Lord has appeared in front of him. When he's offering these prayers, the Lord becomes very pleased. And finally, he requests him that, can you please appear to us as our son? You can see here in the picture. Then Śrī Kṛṣṇa takes the rupa, or the form, of a beautiful little boy. And then he begins coddling and sucking on Mother Devaki's breast, just as a child would. So in this way, Devaki Maya gives the first breastfeeding to Krishna, and both are enjoying the rasa, or the mood, of parent and son with each other. Now, they are praying and hoping that this moment will never end, but of course the pastime continues. Then Vasudeva understands and receives the instruction, and understands that he must save his son. So I'm quickly speeding up. So many beautiful commentaries are there. Anyhow, he takes Krishna in a basket, which of course also miraculously appears. And this basket has a very comfortable pillow adorned with flowers. And Vasudeva takes this basket with his son and places it on his head because he knows he is the Supreme Lord. All of the jail cell keepers are put to sleep. I'm not sure the English word for it, are unconscious. And Vasudeva walks out of the jail very easily. Now, when Vasudeva walks out of the jail, then there is a huge thunderstorm. And he becomes very distraught that how will I take my son to Vraja, Vrindavan, where my other wife, Rohini Devi, and also my very dear cousin, Nanda Baba, are residing, where my son will be safe. If you remember, Nanda Baba and Vasudeva are actually two cousins. In the beginning, there was Devamid. Devamid had two sons, one of which was Parjanya Maharaj, and from him Nanda Baba came. So Devamid had two wives. Sorry, I'm backtracking. Devamid had two wives. One was a Kshatriya wife, and the other one was a Vaishya wife. Vaishya means like mercantile or cowherd class. And the other one was a warrior or king class. So he had two wives. From each of his wives, he had a son. The son from the Kshatriya wife was Vasudeva, and the son from the Vaishya wife was Parjanya Maharaj. And, Nanda. So in this way, the five sons are there, Upananda, Nanda, Sananda, etc. Anyhow, they're half-brothers. So, but one is living on a Kshatriya side, that is kingdom side. The other is in the cowherd side in Vrindavan. So he is thinking of his half-brother and he's going to take his son there. Because his half-brother, he places a lot of trust that he shall take care of my son while he grows up in order to protect him. In any case, Vasudeva steps out, sees the huge thunderstorm, and becomes immediately worried. Now he's wondering, because in front of him he sees the Yamunā river. And the Yamunā river is like leaping. Leaping is described like huge waves are coming in the Yamunā river due to the heavy thunderstorms. Now, when Vasudeva sees this scene, he wonders, how will I be able to cross this Yamuna in order to enter into Vraj? Then immediately, before he steps out into the rain, then Shesha, that is the expansion of Balaram, appears above to, you can see in this picture, above to protect the Lord from any touch of rain coming on him. Now, when this happens, who becomes upset? Our acharyas describe that the god of rain becomes very upset because he wishes to touch the lotus feet of the Lord with his rain. So because he becomes upset, he does not get the opportunity for doing that. Now, Yamunā Devi also is desirous of touching the lotus feet of the Lord. Therefore, she rises, and you all must have heard this, she rises with great anticipation that the Lord will touch his lotus feet on her waters. So when she sees Vasudeva carrying Krishna so high, she wonders, how will I possibly do this? On the other hand, she also has another feeling, that the pure devotee of the Lord is about to enter my waters. How can I cause him trouble? So Vasudeva sees that Yamunā Devi completely splits and provides him away. This is what Vasudeva sees. On the other hand, Yamunā Devi is extremely desirous of touching the lotus feet of the Lord. So when she rises, when Vasudeva crosses, now Vasudeva is seeing, and he's completely fearless because he does not see such a difficult path ahead. But Yamunā Devi is still desirous, so what to do? So Yamunā Devi then splashes, touches the feet of the Lord. Śrī Kṛṣṇa understands her desire, and from the basket, he puts his lotus feet in the Yamunā waters. And as soon as that happens, then it becomes calm, and she provides the way for Vasudeva. So sometimes in the TV serial, you see Vasudeva going like really difficult, and the waters are coming up, and they touch him, they cover him. No, that's not what happens. So we should understand it properly according to the acharyas. That is like a movie. You know, you have to add some masala to it. In any case, Vasudeva does this. Now, there is one secret that I have read many commentaries, and I don't find, at least I haven't found it. I'm sure it's there somewhere. But I haven't found it besides in Gurudev's commentary, this particular realization. And it's such a beautiful realization that I hope that you understand it. So let's just read it really quickly. So Radha, why don't you go ahead and read what Gurudev has written about this particular pastime.
Krishna took birth in Kamsa's jail and simultaneously from the womb of Mother Yashoda in Gokul. It is prominently written, however, that he took birth from Devaki and Vasudeva, and that is why Vasudeva took him across the river. This has been written in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vasudeva went to Gokul and secretly placed his son on Yashoda Maya's bed, and then he returned to Mathura with the newborn baby daughter of Nanda.
Everybody has heard this? Do we all familiar with this? So this is what has been written in the Bhagavatam. And this is true. However, Gurudev gives a very secret pastime that also occurs when Vasudeva crosses the river. Go ahead.
Śrī Goswami never revealed that while Vasudeva was taking Krishna, Vasudeva was taking Krishna across the river. Krishna fell in the river waters, and it was Rajendra Nandana Krishna who emerged, not Vasudeva Krishna. Still, our highly realized acharyas like Śrīla Sanatana Goswami, Śrīla Jiva Goswami, and many others have explained that he who appeared in Mathura and crossed the Yamunā river was Devaki Shuta, and returning from Braj years later with Akrura was Nandana Krishna. When Akrura and Krishna and Balaram came to Yamunā Ghat, Akrura Ghat, Krishna and Baldev disappeared and then remained in Braj. And they who came to Mathura with Akrura were Devaki Shuta, Krishna and Baldev.
Devaki Sut. Okay? This is a really tough commentary to understand. So we might take another time to understand most of it. But this is something that I have seen only in Gurudev's commentary. And it's because he is a complete Vrajavāsī. He's a complete Vraja Rasa Rasika, meaning he only sees everything through the mood of the Vrajavāsīs. So here it's being described that when Krishna was crossing the Yamunā river, now when Krishna was crossing the Yamunā river, is he the son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, or is he the son of Devaki and Vasudeva? Devaki and Vasudeva. Huh? All right. So back to our discussion about Dvāraka, Mathura, and Vrindavan. The sweetness and the intimacy of prema can only occur when one does not have this concept that he is the Supreme Lord. Instead, he is my dear friend, my dear son, my dear beloved. That only happens in Vrindavan. Therefore, the exchange of prema the ras of prema is at the highest peak in Vrindavan. We have mentioned this. Everybody understand? In Mathura, there is prema, but it's mixed with opulence. Now, Vasudeva and Devaki, where were they? Were they in Vrindavan or were they in Mathura? They're in Mathura. So they are known as Mathurā-vāsīs or Mathura Bhakta. They have awareness because Krishna did not appear as only their son. He appeared as the Lord first to them. So they're always aware. In fact, later we will hear Devaki, when she finally sees Krishna again, many years later, many decades later, first thing she asks Krishna is, can you return my sons to me, those who died? We'll learn that when we go, whenever we get there. But she's aware that he's the Supreme Lord, so he can accomplish anything. Mother Yashoda, on the other hand, would never suggest such a thing. So, when Gurudev makes this commentary, one can have a doubt here. Again, this is the beauty of the Rasik Vaishnavas. One can have a doubt that, wait, Krishna is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. He is Mathuresh Krishna, that is the Krishna appearing in Mathura. How can that person take him to Vrindavan? So then the understanding here is that when Vasudeva was carrying Krishna, then that Krishna, who is Mathuresh Krishna from Mathura, the Supreme Lord Krishna, he goes into the water and disappears in the Yamunā river. And on the very border of Mathura, when he crosses into Braj, then Vrindavan Krishna appears in his basket. And it is described at that moment, Vasudeva goes from carrying Krishna like this to placing him on his head. This is also a beautiful rasa. That to Mathurā-vāsīs, they all placed the Vrindavan Prem, the Braj Prem, on their heads because they cannot imagine that kind of prema can take place because they're always remembering that he is the Supreme Lord. But the Vrajavāsīs don't remember that. I don't know how much of this you're following, but I hope one day you will understand this. In any case, so Gurudev describes how that Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna, appears and then takes form in his basket. Now the last paragraph of this says, when Akrur comes to take Krishna and Balaram away, I don't know how many of you know this pastime of when Krishna and Balaram leave Vrindavan to go to Mathura to kill Kansa, then Akrur is sent by Kansa to go and bring them. Now Akrur is a pure devotee. His name is Akrur because the Vrajavāsīs think of him as Krur, not Krur, basically very cruel because he took away Krishna and Balaram. But he's actually a pure devotee of the Lord. When Akrur takes away Krishna and Balaram, he puts them on his chariot and he's riding away towards Mathura. He makes one stop. That stop now is known as Akrur Ghat, also known as Yamunā Ghat. That is, a ghat is like an area of a river where you can bathe. The river is calm and nice and, like a shore or bank. You know, when you go to like a beach or a river and it's flowing really fast. If you ever take a bath in Ganga, for those of you who've done that, there's an area where it's calm, but there's also the area where the water is rushing. So a ghat is like a place where you can take a bath nicely. So Akrur asks them, he says, Krishna and Balaram, would you like to take a bath before we enter Mathura? And they say yes. So Akrur says, okay, go ahead, I'll stay on the chariot to protect the chariot. Krishna and Balaram go into the river. They take their bath. What Gurudev is describing here is when that happens, then that Vrindavan Krishna disappears into the river and out comes that Mathuresh Krishna. Okay? And he goes to Mathura because, as they say, Krishna is eternally always in Vrindavan. But physically it looks like he left and he came, but actually he's always there, sometimes hidden, sometimes appeared. In any case, Akrur sees them taking the bath. They come back and they say, hey, Akrurji, you also go take a bath. So then Akrur says, okay, fine. Then he goes and he takes a bath. When he takes a bath, he dips in the water. He dips in the water, and what does he see? He sees Krishna and Balaram there in the water. And he's like, what? I thought I just saw them return. Then he's like, okay. Then he comes up for air. He turns around, and then he sees Krishna and Balaram on the chariot. He's like, wait. Then he goes back in, looks again, Krishna and Balaram in the water, comes out, turns around, and sees Krishna and Balaram. And he becomes completely confused. And then he says, oh, he's the Supreme Lord. He can do whatever he wants. Remember, he's a Mathurā-vāsī. 1 second. Now, Gurudev why can he write this? Because that Krishna and Balaram that are there in the river, that is Vrajendra Nandan Shyamasundar Krishna and Vrajendra Nandan Balaram. But the one he sees on the chariot is that Mathura Krishna, Mathura Balaram. Then he leaves and takes them away. When I read this, it was so beautiful that how Gurudev has written this commentary. I've not seen it anywhere. And so I hope you can understand the beautiful moods of the Vrajavāsīs, how they can never see Krishna leaving Vrindavan in this way. So Vasudeva carries Krishna and Brajendra Nandan Krishna. He goes to the house of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya, and he sees that everyone is sleeping. The gate of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya automatically unlocks. He comes in, he sees a very beautiful daughter laying on one side of Yashoda Maiya, and he places his son, or whom he thinks is his son, on the one side of Yashoda Maiya, and then picks up her daughter and takes her. And I won't even get into that commentary. In any case, he believes he has left his son, he has taken her daughter. Now, because of Yogamaya Devi, who we understood previously, Yashoda Maiya remains asleep during this whole time, and she is unaware of such an event taking place. Vasudeva then returns back to Mathura with the daughter, that is Yogamaya Devi, and he returns back to Mathura, and then we'll talk about those pastimes next time. Next time we will also describe is the changing of the children and where is Vrajendra Nandan in all of this. So we'll describe that in our next class. So with that, we'll finish. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyavcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I definitely made mistakes during this presentation. I'm going to try to correct them on the next class. But for any mistakes I've made, that is certainly my fault and my misinterpretation. For anything good, that is certainly the words of the previous acharyas and our Guru Varga. Hare Krishna. All right. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Prabhu.
So previously I had heard that Yashoda Maiya also had a Krishna, but now you're saying he's replacing and taking the role.
Yeah, so this will we discuss next week. Yeah.
So secondly, she had a baby girl also, right? Yogamaya. So when Vasudeva, so she was not like, where is my daughter?
No, because this is the effect of Yogamaya Devi, who was the daughter. So Yogamaya Devi does not give that awareness to them, and therefore they are completely unaware that this pastime took place. Right? So Yogamaya Devi, remember, she can she arranges for the pastimes of the Lord in order for them to happen. So she can do anything to arrange the sweetness or to enhance the pastimes of the Lord. Krishna has given her this freedom that we discussed in chapter 1, when Krishna orders Yogamaya Devi to come and take appearance before him to arrange his pastimes. And you saw that picture of Lord Vishnu, and then we discussed Durga Devi, etc. in that class. Yes, Radha.
Two questions. One was about Drona and Bhara. So you had said that they were Nanda Baba and Shraddha were always not associates. But then when they were praying or when they were doing their austerities, were they like in what form of the Lord, like the opulent form of the Lord they were praying to?
They became Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, not Devaki and Vasudeva.
I mean, Nanda Baba and Yashoda. But when they were praying for austerities, or when they were doing their austerities, to what deity or to what form were they doing the austerities to? Because you said that they'll always be in the form of sweetness, like that will always be their path. But in that form, in what mood were they praying with?
You can answer this yourself. What do you think? Based on what you've heard now, that when you perform your sadhana with a particular mood, you get that result. So what mood could they have been performing it in? Huh?
Sweetness.
Not Madhurya Ras. Vatsalya Bhav. But both of them have Vatsalya Bhav. But Braj Bhav. Braj Vatsalya Bhav. Yeah.
Then second question is, we're talking about Krishna and Balaram being Mathura form versus Vrindavan form. But technically Balaram never, like, he appeared in the womb of Devaki, but then he was transferred, with the prayers to be transferred to Mathura-Rohini, but he never really appeared in Mathura in that way, like the way Krishna appeared. So how is there a difference in the mood of Balaram with Vraj Balaram and Mathura?
Because he still appeared in the womb in Mathura, just because he didn't appear in a manifest way, the way Krishna did.
But is his mood considered the same, like the way Krishna's mood is in Vrindavan? Is his mood the same? Because his mood was always servitor mood, but did he ever, is it described that Balaram also has that Vraj mood, like the mood of Vraj?
Yes, but Balaram appears in all cases where Śrī Kṛṣṇa appears, in all avatars, all locations, all services, etc. So the mood of Balaram in Braj is different. The mood of Balaram in Mathura is different. For example, in Braj, he's the older brother, right? So sometimes he reprimands Krishna or tells him what to do. But in Dvāraka, he also recognizes that Krishna is king. So I shouldn't transgress my etiquette because he's king. Though I'm his older brother, but he's king. But in Braj, he's no king. He's a prince and so am I. Okay, make sense? So there's different moods of the devotees. But Baladev is not the same as a sadhak. Baladev is the Lord himself. So it's different tattva. Because a sadhaka will have his exclusive mood in one area, right? Though very technical, though some of the eternal family members even expand themselves into other areas, like Sri Dham becomes Garud, Drona and Dara, Nanda Baba Yashoda may become Drona and Dara, etc. But those are the eternal associates. For sadhakas, we are exclusive to one mood. Yes, Devi.
When you said that Vasudev initiated last time, Devaki Maya. So I just want to understand that why this initiation thing has come. Is it just to symbolize the Guru Parampara thing or?
The initiate. So the question is why has this initiation, or why has it been called initiation? 1 minute, Prabhu, that's it. Why has this been called initiation of Vasudev to Devaki? Meaning, because first Krishna appears in the mind of Vasudev, because he is a pure devotee. Yes, but because she has taken shelter of Vasudev, then Krishna is transferred from Vasudev's mind to Devaki. Similarly, the Guru, whose heart contains Śrī Kṛṣṇa, transfers upon the worthy disciple into their heart and mind.
Krishna's love or the Krishna's pain is transferred from
One devotee to the next. Therefore, bhakti sanjatiya bhakti. From bhakti comes bhakti.
But then Devaki Maya, did she have baby in her womb or no? I mean, what happened?
No. So she feels that a baby has, but Krishna never takes birth as the way he does in Vrindavan. The Lord appeared, but she still feels, remember, she still has the womb. The Devtas come and see the womb, worship the womb, offer arti to the womb. So she feels as if he has taken birth. She does not feel any lack that, oh, he's not my son. He has not taken birth from me. This is due to the potency of Yogamaya, even though it may not have cut the umbilical cord like we see today in a hospital. Any other question? Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhu. Thank you so much.